Yo, what up?
Here we go. We're back.
Well, yeah, we're back, and as you know, this is our recap for the Power
For
Raising Caden season 4 season finale,
the finale
episode
and look
10.
ahead.
Give
I
me the
say
weight.
finale and look ahead.
Yeah,
And man, oh man. So we
spoiler
have to
alert.
talk about, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Get on up out of here and either go watch it or wait till tomorrow if you don't have that.
Yep,
But this is not the place for you because we've seen it and we're going to talk about what happened.
yep.
So that's a spoiler. I'm giving all you busters 5 seconds to get to the exit. One, two, three, four, five.
they
Okay, so
already got. They already coming in. They said, "Caden working my nerve."
I tell you something. But let me tell y'all something, man. Before we get into the show,
Yeah,
um,
right.
I was saying from the beginning, and I know a lot of people in these power forums and stuff like that, be disagreeing and saying that, that was one of my predictions. I predicted before the show that there was going to be a major death. Now,
Yeah,
again, um, the way that they were setting it up from the moment the show came on, and I saw, um, especially after the Chinese guy. No. Once I seen Juke never had smoke for Rock. Once I saw Juke doing, I said, okay, here we go with the Tariq play. I mean, the Ghost playbook. And what I mean by the Ghost playbook is that when they were ready to get rid of Ghost, and when was ready for someone to kill Ghost, they knew that the crowd was not really going to accept that. So what that old writer did or creator, whoever was responsible for it, with their slick self, what she did was start and even Amari made a comment and was like, I'm reading the script like, wait a minute, this ghosts don't act like this. So what they were doing was trying to turn Ghost into a character that people didn't like. So then it'll justify it a little more. You won't feel as bad because they say Ghost all of a sudden started becoming a woman beater. Like all 6 seasons, he never once put his hands on Tasha. Now all of a sudden in season 6, he's a drunk. He's putting his hands on Tasha. He's back with, he's leaving his wife for Angela. He's making all these slick comments that he would never say. They're trying to make him so unlikable. So then when you kill him, they'll say, oh, yeah, good for Ghost. That's what they were doing to me, what they were doing with Rock. All of a sudden now everybody got smoke for Rock. You got the Chinese guy talking back to him. Oh, you're a devil. I don't care what you do to me. Right? You got Jukebox now saying, oh, Rock, she got smoke for her aunt. Never had smoke for Rock. So it was setting up to me for Kanan to kill Rock. No matter what these people are saying, oh, a black woman coming out of building,
yeah.
my mother. Is she the only black woman in South Jamaica, Queens?
Right, and that
Is
wasn't
she
even in Queens when it happened. She
right?
got
Is
killed
she the
somewhere else.
only black woman in New York? So Pop ain't black? So
Right.
that's the thing that I'm like, I'm just so tired. And shout out to Mark Dark. He agreed with me. I'm glad somebody had to say it. Mark Dark said he is tired of that narrative.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, especially young black kids killing
Yeah.
their parents. He said, and
Killing their
especially
parents.
him killing his mother. I don't want to
Yeah.
see that no
That don't
more.
happen. And I'm gonna say this. Then we'll move on to the show itself. First of all, none of this stuff that they're talking about doesn't really track. You already know where we grew up in New York. One of our cousins, rest in peace, I won't say his name, who is from Southside Jamaica, Queens,
Right.
who ran with people like 50 and all of that stuff. But
Hmm.
um, we all know he was the thuggest and thoroughest of them all, right?
Yep.
But one thing he would have never done is harm his mother.
Black
And
people, even
black
for
kids
most
don't do
black
that.
kids,
That
don't
don't
get
really
down
do
like
that.
that.
Street niggas don't work like that. I don't care
Right.
what. This is a narrative that's been
Especially
painted
in the
on.
90s.
Yeah, this is a narrative that's been painted on television and through the Power universe. But street cats don't roll like that.
Nope.
If anything else, you got these cats. And now remember, we came up with cats. These niggas is killers
Yep.
since kids. But what they don't do, they don't harm their family like that, and they
Right.
definitely don't harm their
They
mother.
never disrespect their mothers and their grandmother.
Yep,
They
and their
gonna go
grandmother.
to life, go to it's this new what they're doing is taking this newer generation who you see more and more people harming their siblings, not caring about harming their friends, their girlfriends. This newer generation that really has no care for
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
theirs or no one else's, and they're trying to make that resonate on a show that's supposed to take place in the 90s. So
yep,
that's what Pal's been doing. That stuff don't normally happen. Like
yep,
you have Kanan now because and let's be perfectly clear, Kanan. First of all, and I got a lot to say about him. First of all, sir, it's your fault that Famous is dead. And I'll tell
yeah.
you why. It's your fault, sir, because you first of all, you wasn't even on good terms with Famous when he died. You
That's why
played
he's so
Famous
mad.
and kicked him out of his own apartment.
That's why he's so mad.
Right? That's the first thing. Then on top of that, you went and told that lunatic Ronnie that Fame is always running his mouth. And
Yep,
Fame was hurt behind that.
yep,
He was like, "You said that shit? Like, this is supposed to be your man from kindergarten. And you gonna
yep,
tell this, oh, Michael Myers, strange, weirdo ass nigga, oh, Fame always running his mouth. How you gonna sell your man out like that to this
yep,
lunatic? That's the first thing. Then get the F out, Fame. Kicking him out of his apartment. He came by to tell him about his mother. What the F you want, Fame? He talking to Fame like trash. Like
yep,
trash. And then you gonna talk about, oh, she killed your best friend. Then the whole thing with Crystal. She didn't even know Crystal. And again, he's not thinking. If she killed Crystal, why would she tell you Crystal came by? Why would she make herself known as the last person that seen Crystal before her death? She said Crystal came by. Why would she even tell you that, Kanan? Like he's not even thinking clearly. And when you think about his character later on, how cunning and manipulative he was, and this, and you're like, and now you look at him now, like, well, I guess that you sure enough didn't get your thought from Rock because you aren't even thinking. You know what I mean? You're not even thinking about that. That's where I'll say Tariq is smarter than him. See, because Tariq was well, at least sit and figure it out. He nobody manipulated him into killing ghosts. He just, or he actually let Kanan manipulate him into killing ghosts. Really,
yeah,
right? So, but this dude, he walks in on the cops walking out of Snap and Pop's office, and he just says, "Hey, yo, really do fuck with everybody." Then he sees Rock paying cops. Oh, she killed Famous. You didn't stop to think one time that, hey, maybe these dudes, maybe Snap, Crackle, and Pop killed
yeah.
Famous or was behind Crystal's death.
Behind it,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm really down on Kanan. I'm down on Power for now. We'll get into the
All right. Well,
show.
let's start
But
getting
we're gonna
into
get
some
into
of
the
these
show.
topics. Yeah.
All right,
So,
so
Tyrell, thanks for the comment. He said, I don't think Rock is dead because she's in season 5. Yeah.
right,
So the first thing should be this. Since let's start with the beginning. I mean, let's begin with the ending.
right,
Uh, do you think let's go through a couple of scenarios. first scenario, well, the first question is, do you think Rock is dead? We do know that she's in season 5. It could be flashbacks. It could be
Right.
they could do like what they did this season, start 3 months ago or something like that, or
Yeah.
they might start talking, take it back with the
Because
start of it.
remember,
So
Angela came back for a couple more episodes, but she was in flashbacks.
she was in flashbacks, and remember, at the beginning of this season, they started to show you what happened with Unique. They went back 6 months or whatever. So I don't know. They might do it, but my quick answer to that is no. I don't think she is dead. I think she is. She's obviously in season 5. Season 5, as we know right now, is their last season. They have not been greenlit yet for another season. Probably would have by now if they were going to. So
Mhm.
we have to assume season 5 is the final season of Raising Kanan, and then everything's gonna have to come to a head. Um, but so if in fact, well, what's your answer? Do you think she's dead? Yes or no?
Um, I don't think she's dead yet, but
So do you think he shot her?
yes.
You think he shot her? Okay. So with that being said, let's go through a couple of scenarios. Scenario number one, he actually shot her, and whether she's dead or not or dying, um, first scenario would be okay, so what does that set up for next season? Because I mean, I just don't think Lou and Marvin is gonna take that lying down. But obviously we
Mhm.
know that Kanan doesn't die because he's Kanan. He moves on to,
Right.
he doesn't die until power. So um I just think one thing that might be a little, I think next season obviously is going to be messy, but I think that's a little too messy to go through the season. And so
Right.
what now? Kane is going to just kill all his family? What's going to happen? Because there's
Right.
no way they gonna settle for that. No way.
Okay. So we have he shot we got he shot us. Like I said, we just got to play devil's advocates. We have to give all of the scenarios. Now, the second scenario is Jukebox, as you seen, was on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, Jukebox was kind of leaning towards when she was talking to Kanan, and this is where I'm down on Jukebox. Jukebox's response to Kanan helped make his decision to go after Rock. Because if Jukebox had a said, nah, man, you, because he said, tell me you don't think it's her, Juke. If Juke had
I don't
said,
know.
I don't think it's her, I don't think he would have went. But because her
Mhm.
response was, I don't know, that's what I thought. She didn't
Yeah.
say yes. Right? So he went over there. Now, Jukebox calls somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people said, "Oh, Jukebox." Nah, Jukebox can't get to him. He's already got a head start, and Jukebox ain't got no car.
Yeah.
So and Lou and B Rilla had Panessa. So
Yeah.
I think she called Marvin.
She called Marvin. Yeah.
Marvin went over there, and Marvin shot Kanan, right?
Yeah.
Or shot in the air,
To get his attention. Um,
right?
Reese says that she think Marvin or someone showed up and grabbed him from behind, and maybe the gun still went off or
That's
whatever.
a
That's a
good
good
one
one. Yeah,
because you didn't hear nobody drop. You didn't hear
yeah,
anybody drop.
yeah, yeah. And he's Terrell says Kane is going to find out Snap and Pop had something to do with Famous and Crystal death in season 5, which I believe he will kill Snap and Pop. Well, yeah, um,
Uh,
that's gonna have to happen.
but then if you got that picture, but here, unless it's mine, if you have the picture of from the teaser from
Hmm.
season 5,
Yeah.
right? And there is a scene. where Jukebox is holding somebody. Now the top of
Yeah.
that head that could be Marvin, but I thought first thought it was Marvin, and maybe I thought maybe Marvin just died in the arms. But now that I look at the hair, Marvin's hair's taller than that, so maybe it's Kanan. But the look on Juke's face is something traumatic just happened.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
again, we have a couple of scenarios. The reason why I said if he shot her, maybe he shoots her,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's in critical condition or whatever, he
Right.
then finds out that it wasn't her and she dies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, um, and then that is the result. That's them in the car because she looks like she's grabbing onto somebody and holding them.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he could be doing. Now she looks more. The reason why I say I put it more on it being Rock is because she looked like she was consoling him. He don't look
Yeah.
like he was consoling her.
Right. 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 She looked like she was consoling him, and yeah, it probably is Rock. So I mean, it. With that being said, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's definitely he's gonna definitely find out because if we have to assume that's the last season, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to find out something because let's be honest here, you can't leave Kanan like this because this whole thing makes Kanan look very, very naive and stupid. So you can't leave him like this. Not the Kanan that we all know from Power. We know that Kanan goes on and becomes, much more street smart, much more clever. Maybe he learns that from Breeze, whatever. So he's definitely gonna find out.
Now,
So
now somebody that just said here's the thing. Somebody just said then he kills Snap and Pop, but there's only one problem. He's now working with Breeze. That's it. That's his aunt and uncle. I don't
that's
think that's going to
Breeze's.
sit well with him. So
Yeah,
I don't think that happens. He's
maybe
now
someone,
working with Breeze,
maybe the
right?
Thomases kill him.
Right. Maybe the Thomases kill Snap and Pop.
Yeah,
Maybe Jukebox
yeah.
because she's the one
She's
that
all
keeps
man.
saying, I don't really trust Bonnie
That
and
Bonnie and
Clyde.
Clyde. Yep.
Maybe
All right.
she kills Pop
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't think Kanan's going to kill Snap and Pop. Um, I do think that Breeze is going to kill Unique next season. I think Breeze will kill Unique.
Yeah. I think so
And
too.
and
Because he's like, what about that other nigga? He already
yeah,
had.
he
Yeah.
already called him
See,
out.
yeah. 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 I think Breeze is gonna kill Unique. And here's a question: it has y'all feel after raising Kanan and the Force, no more power or another character will get a series? Well, I
Nah,
mean,
it's the Origins is coming.
Origins, yeah, Power Origins is
And
coming,
I
and when
heard Tommy and Tariq that they're putting, there's been a lot of hints. That I'm sorry, that's the show I will not be tuned in.
no,
I
no,
won't
that
watch one
show's gonna be
episode.
corny. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
that
watching
show will
that.
be corny.
They better not.
If
They
they,
better not make that happen.
I
I
hope
would
they
not
make,
watch
yeah,
Tariq and Tommy and be
I hope
dealing
they
with
make them.
Braden, the miniature Tom. That means that if Tariq comes back, that means Braden and Effie's coming back. It's gonna be the same old thing. I'm
Mm,
sorry. I can't with them.
mm.
They won't get another season of my eyes. I already gave them 4 seasons too many. I
Well,
think it
I
was four
think,
seasons.
yeah, I think. Hopefully they reconsider that. That show won't work. That show won't. I don't think that show will last 2 seasons.
Mm-mm.
Um, that won't work because what is there to really talk about? There's no real stakes
Nope,
in a
they're
show
selling
with
drugs
them two.
again. Oh, you remember he gave. We can assume that that's Tommy who called Tariq at the end of Ghost.
Hmm.
But whatever, niggas don't want to listen. We put them down. Like, come on,
That's just dumb. Yeah, they said it does seem like they have to continue that power, but it might be different. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
So they
I
got
think it would
one more
flop.
season. They got
They
one
say
more
yeah, it's gonna be
season
a flop.
of raising Cain at least. Now remember, um, Breeze. We had to do the one more season of Raising Canaan, and what they need to do at Raising Canaan is at least halfway through the season. They need to do some sort of time jump, especially if they don't get a sixth season.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do a time jump because we're gonna have to be introduced to Ghost and Tommy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why everybody was been so excited to see Breeze is because they know once you are introduced to Breeze, eventually Ghost and Tommy's gonna be introduced.
Right.
Because
That's it.
let's go back to the history of Breeze. It's tied to Ghost. Breeze is tied to Ghost.
Right.
All the times they mentioned him in the original Power, it was because of Ghost. Even when Tommy was laying in bed with his girlfriend saying, we used to work for this guy named Breeze. And he's the one that
Yeah.
gave, that's when you find out that Breeze gave Ghost his name,
His nickname.
his
Right.
nickname. He was like, yeah, because he said the man could be in and out without being seen. So Ghost and Breeze go hand in hand. And that's what I believe subconsciously it became this obsession of who's Breeze, who's Breeze, who's Breeze. But then you start thinking to yourself, why the hell do we care who Breeze is? And that's why, but it's because he's subconsciously tied to Ghost, right?
Right.
Let's get on since we're on the topic of Breeze. How do you feel about the casting of Breeze?
I like I
Shamik
like the
Moore.
casting of I like the casting of people. Like I like Shamik more. Um, he just I think I have to see him in a scene with Unique. Now Kanan, yeah, I can see a little bit, but he just, I guess by them saying, and I gotta kind of agree with one of the commentators. When you hear about Breeze, and that's why the original plan worked. You think of him as somebody older, like
Mhm.
around Ronnie's age. You think
Yeah,
about somebody intimidating like Ronnie,
yeah,
right? You think of somebody bigger than everyone else, like Ronnie, right?
yeah,
So Shamik Moore ain't too much bigger than Kanan,
right.
and he's shorter than Unique. So Unique gonna come and Unique gonna be looking down at this dude just, like Joey
Thanks, Reese.
Badass is
Shout
six
out.
two, and you think Unique gonna be scared of this dude? So I mean, even though size don't really matter, but it's just like,
Shout out to Reese. Thanks for coming in. She said she got a bounce.
all right, Reese, thank you. You know what I mean? And somebody else just said something here. Hold on, I'm gonna go to that. He said, I did saw a video on Patina Miller film a
Yeah,
few scenes
so season
for season
5.
5 on TikTok, but I think one of the Thomases going to prison. Probably Marvin.
Probably Marvin. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's Marvin. Um, if Marvin don't go to prison, he gonna die. Or maybe Lou
yeah,
goes to prison for those murders. Maybe Lou goes to prison for those murders. I think if Marvin went to prison, I don't know if Jukebox would be responding like that. She was responding like she was charmed to like it was somebody
yeah. I think
die.
Marvin's gonna
Yeah,
die. I think Marvin dies next season. Maybe they all die. Maybe,
yeah,
maybe it just be next season might be a bloodbath. Who knows? I think Unique is dying. Who knows? Lou probably gonna die because Lou on some demon time now. He on some old
right,
I'm going out, whatever. So um, the fact that he done took Parnessa and the kid, you know what I mean?
right.
So that's gonna be you maybe him and Unique might end up killing him. You know what I'm saying? He might end up getting killed by Unique. And then I still think that I think that I
What's
agree
up,
with you. I
Blessed?
think what up, bless. Um, I think that Breeze is gonna kill Unique. I think Unique might kill Lou for
Mm-hmm.
taking his family. Because who knows? Maybe Lou might end up killing Parnessa. He ain't gonna kill the kid, but he'll probably kill Parnessa. Maybe Unique could get there and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, next season is set up to be a bloodbath, but it all depends on how it starts next season, and if in fact Rock was shot by Kanan
Right.
tonight. So everybody, welcome in again
Yeah.
as we talk about this season
The
finale.
season finale.
Obviously, if you are here, you must know that it's a spoiler alert, and we're talking about. You're probably more than likely you've seen
You've
the
definitely
season
seen it.
finale.
If you haven't, you about to find out about it.
You're about to find
Um,
out about it.
let me take and get on Raise the Cat because I was just I got a little spoiled because I just watched. Now that season 4 is completed, I just finished watching season 3 again, and season 3 to me is clearly the best season so far.
Mm,
It had the most action, right? Season 3 to me was the best season. Um, this season 4, they just had this finale. I thought it was going to be it was a lot of, you could tell that they're going to, and this is why I think that season 5 might be the last season, because it's like they didn't close out these storylines on purpose because they needed something for season 5. I think if they would have had a season 6 already in the back pocket, they would have ended some of these storylines. So we
mm,
don't know whether Stefano's dead. Uh, Marvin, the last time we seen him, they shot at him, missed, and then we saw him put the white girl in the new house, right? Then you got uh the dude who stabbed Stefano. And another thing, Stefano is usually everywhere with security. No security in this meeting. It's out there alone. It was a little weird to me when you just had your security when in a public restaurant. You got your security there to move Marvin out the way, but then you go to this meeting with this dude, and I know that they were working together, and they let it be known that they were really just pulling a PR stunt, making it seem like they were against each other. He said the last thing we should have did is trust these Moulians.
yeah.
I mean, so they were obviously acting like they were, and then he turned on him. Morris or whatever, Phil turned on him. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. This I was a little disappointed with this finale. Number one, I'm sick and tired of Power. After the first season, I remember what was it? The first season finale was almost 2 hours. I think it was 2 hours. Either the season 1 or season 2 finale was 2 hours. Bro, you can't give us more than at least more than an hour. It was 58 minutes. Last week was 48 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you gave us less than an hour. Nothing really got resolved. Usually bodies are dropping, and okay, they dropped early Tyler. You know that's gonna happen, but that was really the only body that got dropped officially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
I that's why I believe they left a lot of loose ends open on purpose. So I think
yeah.
they're gonna have to address that
In
in
season
season five.
6. I
Yeah,
mean season 5. Yeah.
season 5.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I said season 5 could be set up to be a straight bloodbath, especially if Rock is in fact, let's go with the scenario that Rock was shot at the end of tonight,
Hmm.
and she maybe dies, in the first 1 or 2 episodes, right? Because you got to feel that somebody got there. Even if they got there, tackled him, and he still got the shot off and it hit her. You know what I mean?
How about this?
Uh,
How about this? What if uh Marvin got there and jumped in front of the bullet, pushed Rock out the way. Kanan shot Marvin, even though he shot him by mistake, and that's why Jukebox gives him the scar.
Could be. We gotta have that reason because this whole thing makes you, we have to dissect, and that brings me to what we do. We kind of have to dissect what happens. See, writing for these shows, you have an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is you know how it's gonna end because you you know what the character's gonna be. But the disadvantage is finding the way to make it work and staying true to what the original show said. That's where, when you brought up about Breeze, that's where I agree with you. The problem with that is the Breeze thing was so inconsistent even in the original Power.
Mm-hmm.
Writing for Breeze was probably tough because there was a part where, if you remember, original Power, Breeze was mentioned like 10 times. One of the times, well, a couple of times, Ghost stayed consistent. But what Kanan told the story was a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Kanan also said Breeze was strong but not smart. They just explained Breeze. They just said that this guy's one of the smartest guys out there. That's what
Right.
Snap and Pop
Right.
just said.
He was
So,
strong but not smart.
right,
That
right.
set Ronnie. That's why
Yeah,
it's in the original
that was
plan. Check
that.
it
Yeah,
out.
y'all make sure y'all check out the original plan. We already explained that of how that worked. That's why
All
it
of that,
makes more
all
sense.
of that fit Ronnie. He came in, Ronnie's watching TV. My brother likes to watch the stories at night. That everything that they
Yeah,
said about that's his routine. Eat
yeah,
cereal at the same time. Watches TV at night. When he goes
yeah,
up, he that everything about routine was Ronnie. And that is what I believe they should have left it. Ronnie should have been Breeze. They should have
yeah,
left it. With the whole DEF CON thing. If you
yeah,
notice how they said, "Oh, we looking for DEF CON. We're gonna look out for you because DEF CON." That's what Ronnie was supposed to be saying because
yeah,
Ronnie was involved with DEF CON.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
I think they got a little bit shot. I think they got a little gun shy at the last minute that
yeah,
they knew they had to promote that whole Ronnie DEF CON gay
yeah.
relationship. I think they kind of got a little bit scared with that. But what they're saying about him makes no sense. They just told me how this guy's like a damn near damn brainiac.
Yeah.
And he's there, and it's Shamik with this guy here, Shamik Moore. Does he give you off the impression that this dude spends a lot of time watching Jeopardy? He don't give me that impression.
Nope.
I mean, but Ronnie would. You know,
Yeah.
so
And speaking
I
of the
just
original plan, I'm dropping these links in the chat room. Everybody, when you get a chance, when we're done here, go check out the original plans. That these are the things that we've always talked about. That the things that was supposed to happen throughout
right.
the Power universe, based on the people that we know, our connections in the industry that may or may not work for the Power universe. We
Still.
have to always say may or may not
Yeah,
because
they may still be
we don't want
working
to
for
blow
them, or they
nobody
may
up.
not work there for it. But Jeffrey checked it out, and then when you check out the original plans, and then you see how some of these things have unfold, you'll say, okay, some of the things that you were saying, it really doesn't make sense. And when you
Yeah.
see the original plan, you'll say, okay, so that makes sense. Now you
Mhm.
see why he this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing of about the Breeze thing. I'm happy and not happy. I'm happy that Shamik Moore is in
Yeah,
because
he's a
I like
phenomenal
Shamik
actor.
Moore.
Shamik Moore can
Oh,
act, so
yeah.
I
So he's
I
gonna
believe
kill the
whatever
Breeze role.
he's gonna kill the role. Yeah,
Hmm.
he
You know what
gonna
I mean?
kill the
So,
role.
but I just don't know if I wanted him as Breeze. I would have rather him come as D Wiz's brother, and come looking for revenge for D Wiz, and then somebody else be Breeze. But I'll take it. At least now we know. Now remember, Ghost said to Tariq, I was your age when I killed Breeze.
When I kill Breeze,
Tariq was 16, 17 when he said that
yeah,
because he
when
was
he said
still in
to
high school. So you figure he was 16, 17. So right now in the power timeline, Kanan is 17, and they said Kanan is 5 years older than Ghost.
right.
4 to 5 years older than Ghost. So you're saying Ghost is probably 13 right
Yep.
about now. So you're looking at on the power timeline at least another 3 years before Ghost is Kanan's, unless they just totally disregard
Messed
that
it up. Yeah.
and make Kanan and make Ghost, only a year or two younger than Kanan.
They could have done that. And also back on the Breeze thing. So we said, Kanan said what he said. We know that about Breeze being strong but not smart. Also, this shows the inconsistency of how because I didn't think they expected Breeze to grow into this big character that everybody wanted to see. So they also had the situation where Tommy and Ghost was talking about it when they were saying Ghost was saying, why would Roller, he's known us for years, why would Roller do that to us? And then Tommy's answer was the same reason why two corner boys would kill their would look Breeze in his eyes and shoot him in the head.
Right. It had never been mentioned
It
before that
never been
Tommy had
mentioned.
anything to do with that.
Yep. Never been
See,
mentioned. So the
that's what I'm talking about.
inconsistency about Breeze has become an issue with how to write him. You know what I'm saying? Um, Dude said, finally, we saw Breeze. Nigga look like a joke. Not impressed at all.
Wow,
Oh,
not
man.
impressed
Oh,
at the
damn.
you call it
Now
Shamik Moore a joke?
I'm gonna say this.
I
I'm
hope
gonna
Rock
say,
is not
yeah,
dead. I hope he's not
this
dead
is some
either.
bullshit. I'm gonna say this just right before you came in, and we appreciate you coming in. Uh, Shamik Moore is a good actor. And I don't think he'll be a problem with his role being Breeze. The problem is not him. The problem is
The
how
description of
the
what we thought
right
Breeze was gonna
what we
look like.
thought Breeze was gonna look like. That's why once again, I put the link in the chat room. Y'all go check out the original plan for Ronnie
Yep,
Mathis. We know that he was originally supposed to be Breeze. So, but that's
yep,
not here nor there now. But I think that Shamik Moore is going to do fine, but their inconsistency with Breeze throughout the years
right,
through power is wrong. So now we already got just from those three things we mentioned, we got Ghost kill Breeze at the same age he was Tariq, so that's around 16. Then you got Breeze was smart, but he was strong but not smart. Watches Jeopardy, all that stuff. We know that Shamik Moore, yeah, he is older. You could tell he's older than Kanan, which means he's older than Ghost. But like you
yeah,
said, at what point? So you got him and Kanan meeting now. Kanan being 17 or ish. If they time jump and Ghost, remember then you got to tie in Ghost and Tommy when they were coming out of high school. That one scene that they showed us, they hadn't even met Breeze yet.
right.
Remember, he was saying we gotta meet up with Kanan. He's gonna introduce us to Breeze. Another
So
time that they mentioned
right,
Breeze.
and that was 16 or 17. So what?
Yeah.
You hadn't even met him yet. So what? Less than a year later, you met him, and then a year later you killed him because
But yet you tell Tariq that Breeze was like a brother. He
like
was
a
like
brother,
family. This is
right?
what I'm saying.
So
They
that
may
means
have wrote themselves in the
you
corner.
only knew him a year before you killed him. He like a brother, and you only knew him a year.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing with this whole breed thing that had always drove me nuts.
Yeah, they
So
might
I
have wrote
was
themselves into a corner. They might have wrote themselves into a corner with this Breeze thing. And I don't know. I think when the contract with Grantham whatever his name is fell through and he ended up getting on another show, I think that messed up all of their plans for
yeah.
Breeze. I think they originally had we know that they originally had him supposed to turn out to be Breeze.
Right, because he was going to mentor Kanan
He's gonna mentor
because
Kanan.
Kanan is known as Defcon's
God's
son.
son.
And
Exactly.
Ronnie was supposed to be Defcon's lover in
Right.
Def. That's why Ronnie didn't like
Hmm.
women.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, every time a woman tried to come on to him,
Yeah.
you know what? And that's why he hated Rock. That's why he had this obsession, this hate for Rock, because he knows that Rock was with DEFCON.
Yeah.
And Rock allegedly snitched on DEFCON. That's the reason why Ronnie,
Yeah.
who was in love with it, you'll notice he always talk about DEFCON, 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 DEFCON. That's
Hmm.
because he was involved with DEFCON,
Yeah.
right? And so um, that fit. Everything like that fit. Like this, everything with Tariq, other than Tariq Moore being a great actor,
Mm-hmm.
it don't fit. He don't fit the Breeze,
Yep.
profile.
And
To
this
me,
my man here said, man, I thought Breeze would be a older, bigger, authoritative figure.
right,
Exactly,
right.
like
That's right.
Ronnie,
Yeah, right,
right?
Ronnie.
Kind of
Because he's
like
supposed to
Ronnie.
be Ronnie.
Yeah, that's from Ronnie. Yep.
This dude come in, he don't look like. First of all, you don't even really look too much older than Kanan.
Right.
I'm saying
So
you
I knew
look
Unique
older,
wasn't Breeze. Yeah.
right? Well, you look older, but I knew Unique wasn't Breeze because Unique. Uh, the moment I knew he wasn't Breeze, when he said, "I'm gonna get back to looking like how I was," I said, "Oh, he's not Breeze."
He's
Well,
not
once
Breeze.
once he went back, Unique
Yep.
is too loud to be Breeze. Like
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought because of him getting hurt, him having CTE, that he was like, I'm gonna be in all black now. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
out there. They had the perfect opportunity.
He had the
Early
opportunity to
Tyler
do it.
said, stay dead, stay invisible.
Yeah.
If he would have just been invisible and said, you know what, I'm gonna stay dead. I can't Unique is dead, that would have been perfect. Reintroduce him as Breeze and operate from the shadows and
Yeah.
mentor Kanan. That's what I thought was gonna happen. He
Mm-hmm.
would be taking these people out and doing all these things to Rock as Breeze and not letting her
Yeah.
know that
Yep.
Unique is back around. But
They
Unique
had the
just
opportunity.
he's too flamboyant.
Right. He's too
Unique
he's too
carry himself
loud.
like a Harlem nigga. He
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
carry
it's
himself like
funny.
a Queens
He
nigga.
don't, yeah, he don't carry like a queen. He roll through like a Harlem nigga. But
Right.
KJ said there's going to be a time jump for Origins, so it does make sense. Both him and Kanan were said to raise Ghost and Tommy.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but and yeah, there would have to be a time jump if they wanted to
Definitely.
show anything like that in next season. Got see, here's the problem next season, if they don't get a sixth season, next season is going to feel very, very rushed because they're
Right.
going to have to get rid of the Thomases. The Thomases got to be out of the picture before Kanan and Breeze can get their stuff going.
Yeah.
Because you got to have a whole adventures of Kanan and Breeze building their relationship in business. Then
Yeah.
you got to bring Ghost and Tommy, who are apparently were corner boys for Kanan. You got to bring them into it, and it's got to build a little bit because, like we
Yeah.
said, when we saw them in high school, they hadn't even met Breeze yet.
Right, and
So
I'm sorry that those scene from season 5 where he still looked like the same old Kanan. So it ain't too
yeah,
much of a time jump so far.
so far,
They go,
yeah,
we getting paid. He looked like the same guy that just went off the screen. So and like I said, unless they got a season 6 in
hmm
the back pocket,
yeah,
season 5 at some point, unless they end season 5 and then
hmm
season in Origins they time jump to high
yeah,
school. They could do it that
yeah,
way, right? So they could end season 5. They can get rid of all the Thomases by the end of season 5. That could be the end of Raising Canaan, and then
yeah,
Origin starts when Tommy goes in high school. So I
yeah,
mean, that's what they could do. They could introduce them season 5
yeah.
as 13 or 14 year
Right,
olds.
right,
Then when
and then
Raising Canaan ends as Tommy and Ghost are corner boys, and Raising
yeah,
Canaan ends, then Origin starts,
then
and it's like a 2 year time jump.
like a 2 year time jump. Exactly.
And
So
that will make
Tyrell,
sense.
that's perfect. Tyrell wanted to join us because he had something he wanted to share.
All right, cool.
So I'm gonna drop the link. I just dropped the link in the and then see if we could jump. Okay, there he is. All right, let's bring Tyrell on. 1 second here.
Oh,
What up, man?
hey, it's something I'm finna share. I just thought about it.
Go ahead.
Now, y'all heard. Now, I heard the original plan. I got to join y'all what this original plan I was hearing too, that my boy was telling me. Woody Harrison, I think that's the name
Wood
of his wife.
Harrison.
Yeah,
Wood Harrison.
I thought it was Woody.
Or
Woody
or, or,
Harrison. I
or
thought it was.
Woody the guy that plays Kane?
No, he was on the wire.
Wood Harris,
Wood
probably, right?
Harris.
Me and him heard he was supposed to be in the original Breeze.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
And to me,
That
it
would make
makes
sense.
sense to him playing Breeze too.
Yeah,
Right. Because he is around the same age
I would
as
say,
he
hold on,
he
check
would
it out.
be around the same age as Ronnie. They would have
yeah,
made him around the same age as Ronnie.
yeah. They might have considered Wood Harris to play the Ronnie character before they
Right.
casted Grantham, whatever his name is, because Wood Harris would have worked as a Ronnie character because he's the same complexion as Unique. Like he could have played Unique's older brother. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That was in jail. So they might have had him to play, the Ronnie, but that didn't work out, and then they end
Hmm.
up casting that guy. But
Yeah.
the original plan was for the character of Ronnie to end up becoming Breeze,
Right.
or
And he's
mentor. But
older than this Shamik Moore guy. And when you
Yeah.
and when you think about Ronnie, like I said, he came in as routine. You see the TV playing, get
yeah,
my cereal. He eat the same. He's the one with the routine. Eats
Hmm.
yeah,
the cereal, same cereal every morning. Watches TV at night. He's the one
right.
that had the routine,
I'll be
right?
willing. I'll be willing to bet you guys, and we know what we know from our contact that told us about this. But I'll be willing to bet that they went on what Kanan, because the most descriptives that you ever got about Breeze was from Kanan in Original Power. So they probably went on that, and that's when they crafted the character of Ronnie around that character. But like I said, when Grantham, whatever his last name is, ended up getting a better, because remember this gig with Power is just co-star feature, not
Yeah.
even co-star feature. So
Mhm.
when it comes to just business, he got a better role on another show. So his
Yeah.
contract with them was up because he was supposed to be temporary. So
They were famous.
right,
Right.
exactly. Same with Famous, right? Famous just got pushed a couple of seasons. He was supposed to die in the second season, but
Right.
he got pushed a few. Actually, he's supposed to die in the first season, I think he said, and he got pushed 3 more seasons. But my
Yeah, I
point is,
remember he had an interview. I saw it on Instagram when he was
yeah,
talking about it.
when he's talking
Now,
about exactly.
now, Ty, what did you think as a whole? What was your great takes from this show, and what did you not like about the finale? What was your whole take on the finale?
All right, for the finale, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I hope everybody don't say anything negative on y'all comments. I'm just gonna be honest with everybody. That
Mm,
that ending, I don't think they should have just hold on and wait till
mhm.
season 5.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's
So at
true.
first, I thought it was gonna be a major death, but after we want to see one body, and that was what's that, Tyler?
Yeah,
Yeah,
early
yeah. Early
Tyler. I,
Tyler.
I
Yeah.
I mean, if you were gonna do that, listen, just go all the way, man. Like if you got people thinking, you got people out here from behind the scenes saying, "Oh, there's gonna be tears in people's eyes," and so
Mm.
I'm prepared for Marvin or Rock
Yeah, I'm
to
thinking it's
to,
a
to get killed.
bloodbath about to
Same
happen.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
and
a bloodbath. And thanks, Tox, for letting us know. Grantham Coleman is his full name, and he went on the Emperor of Ocean Park. Exactly.
thank you.
He ended up getting a better role. Yeah, this is still a business, right? So
Mhm.
his
Right.
his uh his contract did not get renewed because of that. So KJ says the ending was trash. It's been reused way too much in Power.
So
So
I'm
I'm
hoping,
hoping
man.
it is a throw
KJ, I
off.
agree with you, my man. I
It
agree with
didn't. I agree. I agree with him as
I mean,
well.
can we
you. But you
get
know what?
off of the parents and kids killing each other? I
Yeah,
mean, I know it's a show. Like I said, I
I
know it's
know.
a fictional show, but the thing about fictional shows are there's some sort of realism
Right.
that's supposed to be attached to it,
It's
even
supposed to
though
be
it's
art
fictional.
imitating life. It's supposed to be
Right.
art
So,
imitating life.
and if
Yeah.
your art imitating life,
Black kids don't kill their mamas.
noticeably, most of the time, historically, black kids don't play about their mama.
Yeah.
They
At
definitely ain't gonna
all.
be killing it, no matter how bad their relationship is with their mother. They not and especially young as
Yep.
much as much as there are families without dads,
Yep.
a son killing his father, a black son. Come on, man,
Nah.
that
The
don't happen.
only time something like that would happen is if their father was abusive and was, or if it was some sort of, but that is very
Right.
rare. And especially let me rephrase it. This is no knock on anybody from the South. Now the South, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
That people kill each family members kill each other, but in New York City, that don't happen. We're
Mm-mm.
from New York, born and raised, lived there almost all my life. Okay.
Mhm.
We came up in those eras, and in that era, that is our era. And trust
Yeah.
me, I love
I'm
this
born
show.
91, so I kind of
Right, right.
yeah.
I love this show, and it's why one of the reasons why I love it, because it reminds us of home, right? So that's great. But I'm telling you right now, we had a cousin, rest in peace, who came up with 50, ironically, Southside Jamaica, Queens, Rochdale, 109,
And Guy Brewer.
and Guy Brewer, right? So he was official as they come, right? I know for a fact the one thing he would have never done is harm his mother or his
Yeah.
grandmother or
Same,
us
same
for that
here.
matter. He was family.
Yeah.
It was family oriented. You know what I'm saying? They don't do all that
Hmm.
stuff. And I do understand business, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But that's where they get a little too fictional, unfortunately.
And you're right, and that's what Amari was talking about. Amari
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
the storyline just don't make a lot of sense when it comes to black people.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why he was pissed off about that. And thank you for that comment, KJ.
Yep.
And that is my whole thing. Listen, I think Ray. I've always said, other than OG Power, Raising Canaan is to me by far the best spinoff.
It is.
I think, including OG Power, I think Raising Canaan has the best
Best
act.
acting.
They have the
Yes.
best acting, including OG Power.
I
Right?
agree.
But,
I agree. Also,
right,
Yep.
but this whole thing with when you think about Kanan and Juke or whatever, and then just like
Yeah.
everything is family first, even with
Yep.
the Tejadas, with this one, family first, family first. But all y'all try to kill each other at some point. The Tejadas was trying to kill, they wanted to kill their mama.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I was
Same
like, come
thing.
on, man. Like, she was talking about some run came before I put you down myself. Your mother is telling her son, run before I put you down myself?
Yep.
I'm like, yeah,
Threatened her only daughter. I'ma kill you after her daughter blew her up at the
yeah,
at the dinner table.
it's too much. That whole narrative of killing your parent, it's
Mhm.
just too much with that. So, and
Yeah.
someone made a good comment
He
again.
said that damn executive producer.
Yeah, it's too much, man. With the
Oh man.
killing, and the whole thing. And like I said, if you go and read the original, that's why when people sit and say, when you see Juke and Kanan, their relationship, look at Juke. He's pretty much done went against Rock to join Kanan's side, and then when you look at
Hmm.
how they ended.
Yep.
Kanan kills Jukebox. Oh,
Yeah.
as close as they've been all their life, Kanan's gonna kill Jukebox for the
Yep.
ops son.
Hmm.
But if you read the original plan,
Go
you'll
watch the
know.
original plan.
Go
Yeah.
watch the original plan, and you'll know why that happened. But to people who have not seen the original plan or know the original plan, how would that make sense? As close as Jukebox and Kanan was, that he's gonna put for what? Like, cause Tariq listened to your war stories. I mean, because Tariq listened to your stories, and that's why you took him over your cousin that you grew up with.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
so
never understood.
so Ty, what did you the whole Kanan? Are you one of those people who says what I'm seeing a lot of with power watchers now is, oh, Rock deserved it. Oh, Are you on the Rock deserved it bandwagon? Because I'm seeing a
Uh,
lot of people saying Rock deserves it because she's lied to Kanan so much.
no,
Me neither.
I'm
And
a big
let's
fan of Rock. I love.
yeah,
I got a shout out to my girl anyway because she played Rock perfectly.
she
Yep,
kills it. She is
my
the
girl,
best
man.
actor on that show.
She's the best
We all
actor in
know
that
that.
franchise.
In that franchise,
Yep.
she is a beast. That's why I said I'm a little skeptical about her being dead because I'm a little worried how this show is gonna go a whole season without her being in it
Yeah.
because she is
He is
she
the
is
show.
the
It's
show.
called Raising Canaan, but it should be called Rocky Road. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is raising Canaan because guess who's raising
Raising
Canaan? She
Canaan,
is.
Rock.
Yeah.
Rock is
So
Raising Canaan. So
yeah.
I would be very shocked or very scared how their ratings is gonna look without Rock. Now,
Is it this
I don't
episode
think
hurt
she's
your
gonna be dead.
stomach?
I
I
think
don't think so
she,
either.
cause like I told y'all when I had comment, I saw it on TikTok. I did see she did film. I mean, she shot a couple of scenes, so she
right.
ain't dead. But you know, one thing I think I'm hoping I'm hoping I'm right. You remember when they was talking about DEFCON?
Yeah.
When
Hmm.
we're talking about DEFCON, him and Howard. I mean, her and Howard on season one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, this is a theory that I'm hoping they do it for season five. What if they do a flashback with Rock with DEFCON?
That's possible. That would be, I thought
Yeah, they
about that
could.
too.
They
That's a good
could.
idea because that's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. And a lot of people are saying Rock ain't dead. Patina Miller carried that show. Someone says there, yep. Yeah, I agree with you there. That would be actually a good thing because they haven't really cleared that up. That's one. I give these writers a lot of credit. That's one kind of not a loose end, but that's kind of like a plot that they never really explored and or cleared up.
Yeah.
With the whole thing with DEF CON, um,
I
like
hope
I
they do
said,
it. I hope
we
they
do
announced that original plan what they was going to do with Detective Howard.
well.
We'll find out. We'll do it for you.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah,
find
yeah.
out.
Yeah, we can find out what
Can
was
I tell
the
y'all
plan
what I'm
with him.
hearing? I know my homeboy was hearing this too. He said that
Uh,
Detective Howard, the original plan he was hearing, because he got a family member that know a couple of writers from Raising
yeah.
King.
Okay.
Okay.
See there?
That's what's up. Yeah. You may
He
know the same people.
right.
he heard from his cousin. The original plan was Detective Howard wasn't supposed to get killed yet until this season.
mm,
Mm. Hmm.
okay.
Very possible.
But Unique really supposed to got killed last season.
Yep.
That's the true
Yep.
original.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for
Hmm.
sure. I never heard that too. We had
Yep.
heard that too. That
But Unique's
yeah,
popularity
yeah, that's what
exceeded
brought him back.
Howard's.
Yep,
Right.
it did.
Even though Omar Epps is a more seasoned actor than Joey Badass, but Omar
Mhm.
Epps is a little older, and Joey Badass had the younger crowd, and they can't let too many main
I know
stars
why they
hang
he
around
had
too
to leave
long.
though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know why Omar Epps had to leave.
Why?
Oh, my Epps was he in it? He had another
Or does
show
he
or
have
something?
personal issues?
There was two rumors I was hearing.
Hmm.
One was he was going to do another movie.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Now the
A
second one,
schedule conflict. Hmm.
Right.
and then the second one was he did had. I think he had a death in the family or something. Something I was hearing, but I don't know how true that
So
was.
either way is a scheduling conflict because you
Right.
gotta everyone needs to understand the business behind this.
Mhm.
When you're set to schedule to shoot and they get their schedule, sometimes it's not for a year or two they have to shoot. They gotta do it when they are given the time to do it. And they got to
Right.
get it done. That's how you see some of these shows end up so rushed or the last season isn't that good because they weren't really prepared to shoot and end it like they were supposed to. They got to do rewrites. They got to do
Hey, Tom,
reshoots.
I agree with you right there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Stars better cowboy.
Now,
Yeah.
anybody else want? What's up, Rasul? Anybody else want to come up? We'll drop the link for anybody else who wants to come up. I mean, I'll tell you something, man. So what did you think of this whole thing with the
For the
unique?
season,
I mean, Lou grabbing Panessa. You know that's
you know what?
overused too. But
It makes sense. Cause that's something unique. That's one thing that Unique ain't gonna play about. When you
right,
Yeah.
take his kids,
yeah, that's it. When you take his son and Panessa, that Rock was a perfect.
but you know what?
Rock knows
They teasing
exactly,
Unique getting killed.
huh?
They teasing he's getting killed in season 5. I can tell you that. I know it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't get
he's
killed.
gonna have to end up getting up
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold
how do you think?
on.
Who do you think
Hold on. Hold on one
is
second.
go?
Hold on. This is my
Is
homeboy.
oh,
Oh
who do you
shit.
think that is gonna be Jukebox's way into the police force? Do you think it'll be through Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
or do you think she'll just have her find her own way into the force? What's gonna
Yeah.
make her want to become a cop when she
Oh,
hates cops so much?
I about to say before I tell y'all this, my homeboy just hit me up and say he heard some talk they supposed to be start filming Power Origin supposed to be sometime this year.
Okay.
Okay,
They'll start
But he
filming
said he don't know
Origin.
yet. That's what he was hearing.
right,
Okay. Okay.
because with Origins, I probably would figure
They'd start this
end of
year
2026 is probably when to come out
or 27,
because
top of
season 5.
27.
I know all these years, man. Like Jesus Christ.
Because
Oh,
see,
Power
Origins
Origins
might. I
coming
don't think.
2027. Like
No,
man,
I
I
don't
that's a
think.
long way.
found out next
I
year.
yeah, I don't think Origins is going to be on Stars. I think 50 is trying to work it out where Origins is on his network that he created. Because I think they're trying to, as we know, it's not even I think, we know that 50 and them, they're trying to move away from Stars. That's why all these shows are ending too. You know what I'm saying? So I
I kind
believe
of wish they
Stars,
went on did one more season for OG Power for season
mhm,
7.
yeah, they were supposed to
They're supposed to.
originally.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
original plan for Power. It was supposed
Yeah.
to go 7 seasons, but
But the
yeah,
question you told me though, but I'm gonna ask something else. If Unique find out Penelope get killed, I don't know either episode 1 or episode 2, whatever episode it might be.
Mhm.
We all know how crazy Unique's really gonna be.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And oh yeah,
Good
look at
question.
what
Another
KJ.
loose end.
Another loose end there. That's why Rock can't be dead. She has to tell Unique
Right,
about the
and
abortion.
listen again. I love
Unless
raising
Jukebox tells
Canaan.
him. Because she's
I
the only
love
other person
raising
that knows.
Canaan. I love. You had the He threw you the alley oop
Yep.
when he said. Matter of fact, she called me daddy, and
Right
I should
there.
have. I wish
I
he
was
said.
like,
Speaking of
whoa.
daddy,
Yeah. She
you
should
know
have
what I'm
said,
saying?
speaking of
That was
daddy.
the
Yeah.
perfect time. That
Yeah.
was
But
the
Perfect
perfect
time.
time.
to
Perfect
your
time.
question about Jukebox becoming a cop,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think it might be either a new character.
Hmm.
I
Maybe.
believe it's a new character.
Possibly.
Somebody she's gonna meet is gonna help her become a cop.
But based on what she said
Right.
tonight, I'm going to say this. Jukebox is not leaving until Marvin dies.
Right.
Because she said though she's not leaving him,
Right.
and
She's
that's
not
why
leaving here.
she's not leaving Queens. So when Marvin dies, that is
That's
when
when she's gonna
Jukebox
leave.
is
Yep.
gonna leave, and
So they happen. Yes.
Marvin's death is probably gonna have. I don't know if it's gonna have something to do with Kanan, because we all know that Courtney Kemp said Jukebox gave Kanan the scar that's on his neck when they were
Right.
kids. So
We're gonna see it
Juke,
in season
yeah,
5.
We have to see it in season 5. Maybe by that time, this is what I real quick. This is what I think. Like we all been kind of saying, season 5 is gonna start off letting us know what happened or whatever. They might time jump somewhere near the middle of it, somewhere in there, because like I said, timelines have to add up. Obviously, Jukebox knew Ghost and Tommy because they knew who she was. You remember Jukebox? Ooh, that crazy bitch. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he
So
knew,
Oh, I remember.
like
right.
Tommy looked like he more
Didn't
so
really know
knew of her,
her. Yeah.
but
Ghost.
Ghost knew her.
Yeah. Yeah. Ghost knew her because she knew him. That book smart nigga beat you. You let that book smart nigga beat you. Yeah, she said that to him. She knew about so I don't think that they knew them so well, but at the same time, because when he confronted Juke, right? When he
Mhm.
was like Jukebox, when she was about to kill Tariq, blah, blah, blah. So he knew all of that stuff, right? He knew Jukebox was nothing to fuck with because you saw the look at his eyes
Yeah.
when Kanan said who it was
He said
when they were in the
jukebox.
car, he was like, Jukebox. He was looking like, God damn, why her? He knew
Yeah.
that she was crazy. So she has to be around long enough for that to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, like, they got some
Time out.
work to do. They got some work to do.
Top says, I'm wondering what's the point of unique alive. You know, a lot, that's funny, Talk. A lot of people said that. They're like, but what happened was Joey Badass was supposed to be killed off, and he said, I think it was something about his tour, his music, whatever. And then he said he wanted to come back
Yeah.
and play unique again.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that's the reason why they end up and like I said, the whole thing and then when people started thinking he was Breeze, right?
Hmm.
When the people
Whereas
started
I
thinking he was
thought
Breeze,
he wasn't
They were
that.
trolling with us. They were trolling us
they
for a
start
while.
trolling with it like Power does. Power started now all these people. I want to see these power
Yeah.
commentators.
That's
I,
it.
I, I hate to
Let the
call you out because
apologies
you're
be.
my
Yep.
boy. Get it how I live it. You need to make a
Yep.
Oh,
video
You
and
gotta
say
make
you
a
were
video.
wrong, my brother,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you were the main one saying that
And he stood
Unique
on it.
was Breeze,
And he
and you
stood on it
stood on
too.
it.
He stood on that hill. He had to die on that hill.
Yeah.
So that let I'll be looking to see.
I
I'll be
I,
checking for you, Pop.
I homegirl to say it too. She said, "Tell." She's like, Tyrell, man, unique breeze. I promise you. I like. I watch. watch
I think at that point when they figured out, and like we said, we keep promoting. Go check the original plan for Ronnie Mathis on our channel.
Yeah.
When once the thing with Grantham Coleman fell through, I think they just at that point decided, they already decided they were going to recast Breeze. They probably they probably had casted Shamik Moore a long time ago, and then they decided let's f with the fans,
Right,
let's troll them a
because
little
they
bit.
did not
yeah.
expect this character to take on such a larger. So that's the reason
Nope,
why it seems as though like they weren't
that's
even
why I say
planning
it,
to
man.
bring this character in yet,
Nope, nope.
right? And I don't even really think they would, and I don't even really think they would have made this character that big of a deal because you know, but everybody breathe, 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 breathe.
Hmm.
I blame that on Tyreek. Breeze. Oh, starting with Breeze. Why do you want to know about Breeze so much? Or what is
Yeah,
this fascination with
they
Breeze?
made it to. I think they would. And yeah, Tox, you right. Yeah, get it how live. He does have a creative brain. We not dissing him. We just saying,
Yeah,
stand on it. You stood
right. You
on
gotta
it. You
stand on it.
died on the hill. Now you
Like I
got to
said,
come out and say
I
you were
like
wrong.
Get It How I Live It.
I love
I
him.
love
He's
his
great.
the way he thinks. But when you're wrong,
You're wrong. Yeah,
you gotta stand on it. The same way how you do when you say you're right.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When he said Unique wasn't dead, he was right. He bragged about that for months.
Someone
But he
said fair
also
play.
said,
Also got to make new videos.
"Yep, you know what I mean."
Everybody that's
So
saying Breeze was I understand it, and it's all good. And for a long time, we thought I was starting to think it might have been him too. But then, like you said, when he started, I felt the same way as you have. When he started talking about I'm gonna go back, he went back, got his jewelry back. He
yeah,
started
that's not how
and
Breeze was.
and his I thought it was gonna be he was gonna be messed up from getting basically his brain beat in.
Right.
I thought
Basically,
he
he
was,
back to the same guy,
yeah, he
and
been the same guy with a scar on
just
his
with a
face.
scar on his face.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
I
so
was like,
Well,
yeah,
let me
he
ask
did.
y'all this though. What y'all rank this season though?
Out of all four of their seasons,
Yeah.
yeah,
um, to me, I thought season three was the best so far. Um, I
I
think season two was the second best. I'm gonna rate this the third best. I'm gonna put four. I'm gonna put number one. Season one. I'm trying to remember back. How did that end? That ended with him killing Howard.
well, Howard didn't die.
Yeah.
Well,
You
he
know
was
what?
supposed to
You
die.
know what? This might be the worst.
it's possible that this is the worst
This might be
season
the
because
worst.
up until now we haven't really
It
had
wasn't a lot of
many writing
action.
flaws. There was no writing flaws really up until now.
Right.
So and I think and someone said here, does Razor Kanan get a season 6? That remains to be seen. I don't think they do because I think they're trying to get rid of stars, or they're trying to get out of stars. Um, and then KJ said this was the worst season because they
Yeah.
built it up the entire time for the final
Well,
letdown.
final letdown. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. When I'm thinking back, I think season three was the best. I think season
yeah.
two was the second best. I think season one was the third best, and then I
And this
think
might have been
season
the
this
worst
one
season. Yeah.
was the worst
I
season.
think this was the least writing wise. It wasn't the strongest of all of them. It's still better than a lot of the other shows, but writing wise, I think this is the worst season amongst this spinoff. Someone else here says, uh, Breeze gave us Ghosts. We were still stuck. Yeah, I brought that up before, Tox. I said everybody was so infatuated with Breeze because everyone shocked from Ghosts being taken away from us, and
Yeah.
it's just like Breeze is an automatic connection to Ghost. So we know that once we finally see Breeze, it won't be too far behind that we will be introduced to Ghost and Tommy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I just think it's just a connection. It's almost like a subliminal connection.
I probably give this season, if it's a 1 to 10, I probably give this season like a 6. Yeah, again, man, it was, you kept waiting for the okay, it's gonna pick up, and even in season 8, even in
They
episode
don't
8,
have a grade yet.
even episode 8, where you usually see a lot of bodies drop, it just wasn't. It just never got there.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I
And being it's the second from
the
last
season was
season, there
very
should have been some
tame,
more
very
deaths.
tame. Yeah, there should have
It
been
should have
some
been
more.
some more
First of
deaths.
all, they
This,
should have started taking out some of these Thomases now.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
at some point they got to go. We all know that when Kane and NOG Power passed away, they said he has no living relatives to claim him. So when are we gonna start dropping Thomases off?
yeah,
It gotta
I
be
mean,
season
or
five.
put him in jail, something.
Gotta be season
yeah.
5.
It's
You
gonna
know,
have to be. Yeah.
right? They might have all go season five except Juke and
Can't.
Kanan. But the whole thing with,
Mm,
even I feel as though this season they left they missed a lot of opportunities. And where
mm.
I say that is, I think they missed an opportunity for Panessa to be like, you know what? Now that he's back, like, build that up. They should have showed her more than 1 week. Like, she should have been like, you know what? Now that he's back, I don't think I like this dude. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because he's scary. He's not the same as before. I honestly thought that Panessa was going to end up confiding in Rock because
Right.
she was scared of Unique. You know,
Mhm.
I needed more twists and turns where I was wrong at, and I apologize, and I said I was wrong. But where it should have happened is this what Raising Kanan did is another thing they did this year was they put a lot of characters in to make you think they're
Mhm.
shady, and then it turns out that you know what they weren't shady. The girl
Yeah.
that pops up, everybody was saying, "Oh, I don't
Yeah.
trust her. I
I
don't
don't
trust her."
believe.
She
Yeah.
turned
Yeah.
out to be a pretty good girl. She was
Yeah.
like, "You know what? I'm not with this,
And
Lou.
then I'm not
Let
with
just
all this
let."
stuff. And then she came in. That was
So,
kind of
so what
like
was the
pointless.
point? See, my thing is, what was the point
That
of
was pointless.
introducing her as Lou's girlfriend if nothing happened behind that? Right?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me. You know,
Unless
I
once
thought she was
again
going to be
it comes
upset
back.
or something like that.
Right. Unless it comes back and maybe Lou does go to jail next season for murdering those guys.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe she,
maybe the
maybe.
cops go and see her and she ends up, basically turning him in, saying he wasn't even with me that night or he didn't get to me until this time
Yeah,
or
because
something like that. So that's
you
possible. See, there's a lot of right now because it's not the and there's still some open ended. Someone said here that they saw a I saw I seen a scene of a furnace, but maybe it's season 5. That
maybe
whole
that
furnace
furnace will
thing,
finally come back into
it'll
play.
come back
They
then.
they didn't
Maybe Unique
introduce that for no reason.
because Stefano is not confirmed dead, so maybe Unique throws Stefano in his own furnace. You know what I'm
Or
saying, or
maybe
something like
Unique gets
that.
thrown in the front. I mean,
Or
I
maybe
don't really
Unique
know.
gets thrown
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't really know
furnace.
what
Yeah,
it is. Rock, throw him in the furnace, whatever the case may be. But
I know
I
they had
all I
something's gonna happen with that.
yeah.
yeah, why'd they bring up that furnace? If no, I ain't seen nobody go in that furnace yet. They didn't even put Rock. I thought they was gonna put Ronnie in the furnace. They didn't put him in the furnace. I'm like, so why bring up the furnace? So that
Yeah,
was the whole thing about this year. I thought I thought you bring back the girl Amber. What was the point? What was the point of Marvin going and killing those people just to get Amber to
And
another house?
mm-hmm.
What was the point? So and then you got the they killed the woman's husband, the battered woman's boyfriend or whatever.
It was her husband, the one
Right,
that
yeah,
killed
husband.
by
her
the shop.
husband.
Well,
Yeah,
but what was the
Husband.
point? I mean, is it going to come back on him later? Probably
yeah,
not. I mean, we always
probably
see
not.
it didn't come back on jukebox. She was
Nope.
she was in power.
You know what
So
they should have went on and did? Now I know a lot of people was kept talking about, man, what happened to Famous? What happened to Famous? You know what they should have added for this season?
what?
They should have showed his death right there. How he got.
Yeah, they could at least did flashbacks on whether now according to the young man who plays him, obviously he
He
wasn't
just
in
said he
this
got.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's what happened. What happened is
he got
they
in some
probably
trouble.
would have done it, but the rumor is that he got into some legal troubles, and
Yeah,
that's why he didn't film at all
Oh, I
this
thought he
season.
had some family
No,
issues. That's what I thought.
yeah,
now he
family
got
But
he
issues,
got
they should have
legal
yeah
just
he
went
got
troubles.
on and did it in season 3.
yeah he
Get
got
off.
yeah he got in some trouble. That's why he jokes, but he's serious. 50 stopped following him from a long time ago. He blocked him. 50 blocked him. He's like because he was getting into some stuff
And he
and
said he was supposed to
saying
go in season 2. He was supposed to be down there, but this year's writing left a lot to be desired. I'm like, if I was doing this,
I think
I
they
I I
they
would have
rushed
I would have
into
switched
this.
around. I would have made OC and that girl being cahoots. Now that would have been a twist. I would have
yeah
made OC and Crystal being cahoots.
right
Against
stealing
Kane
the money.
and she's the
Because
one that set him up for
that
the
was
money.
never resolved, and that's the thing. We another thing that I thought was going to happen was Unique was going to give him back the money.
That's what I thought.
You
He's
know what I'm
gonna meet
saying?
Unique, and Unique was gonna give him his money.
Right,
Give him his money
because
back. What happened?
right.
So you just kept his money and put Vanessa up in a penthouse on Kanan's money? So Kanan ain't gonna
Okay.
get his money back. See, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is all stuff that's gonna have to be addressed. That's why I mean they got a lot of work ahead of them.
They're
They
not,
have a lot of
and
work.
you now thinking of power. Do you really think they're gonna address all those things? No,
No,
Nah,
they power is much as I love the franchise, I can go back to every season and be like,
and
what
give
happened
you
to this
a
person?
dozen of
What happened to
loose,
that?
a dozen of plot
What
holes.
what happened to the two bit? So he just came out, noticed that Tariq stole the car back and said, "Oh well, I'm gonna go on back to where I'm back." He didn't go looking for his car that Tariq stole back from him.
you know what? I need to go here and give y'all my rank about the for all four.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I got season 3 number 1.
Me
Mm,
too.
yeah.
I got a two-way tie with season 1 and season 2.
Okay.
But season 4, I'm sorry to say that they excuse my language, and I don't want y'all to get in trouble with you two. They fucked it up bad. They fucked season 4 bad.
Yeah, season
Yeah,
4 was that, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
yeah,
I kept trying to give it the benefit of the doubt and waiting and waiting.
But you
What
know
was
what?
the
When
season
it did,
Rock gave the cops the
that
money?
made season 4
yeah,
would be
Last season.
better.
That was last year. That was last season.
Mm.
yeah,
I think what
yeah,
they went on did for season 4 is for this final episode, they should have just went on had Unique get killed right there and there.
Right.
yeah,
Somebody should have died in the finale. If
yeah,
you didn't make them die in episode 8,
Hmm.
somebody usually dies in the finale. If you go back on Power history, see episode 8 is usually the main character death,
yeah,
and then the finale is a big cliffhanger. So something big happens in the finale,
yeah,
and it just wasn't
Oh, I
there.
need to address this. I need to address this because there's some people I ain't gonna say their names, but I'm just want to clear this up about season 9, about episode 9, about what's going on with Marvin. Whoever said, I ain't gonna say y'all name. Whoever said that Marvin was supposed to get killed in episode 9, that
With
was
two
some
minutes
bullshit.
left, with 2 minutes left, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said that. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, y'all gonna have to die on that hill.
Right, y'all gotta
Y'all
come
need to
back and say
hey,
something now. You
yeah,
don't go hiding, cause
don't go high.
y'all jump on out here and be making video after video when y'all right. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So so you're gonna have to say, you know what, I was wrong. I thought maybe I jumped on it. Now, I'm now, especially for the whole unique breeze. I done seen so many people. Unique is breeze, and if anybody, calling people stupid and everything else, if you think he ain't breeze, y'all slow and this that. I can see if it's a crazy thing. Like I said, I went out on a limb and said, okay, Crystal. I think Crystal's with Ocean because they were making every. I'm thinking that some sort of twister has to happen. There was no twist at all, other than Snap and Pop killing Famous, and they didn't even really reveal. That was an anticlimactic reveal.
yeah,
You
They
know what
should
I
have just
mean?
went on and show us that scene. But I kind of understand that
Right.
Aurora couldn't do it.
But
hmm
but Ty, I tell you this, and this is what I thought they were gonna do because he didn't get a chance to film. I said, you know how you make that up by showing exactly by making what happened to Famous happen to Crystal. So then that way
True.
you could say, see now you get okay, so that's what happened to Famous. They could have showed you what happened to Famous by showing it with Crystal. So
yeah,
if Famous I'm sorry, maybe because she's a woman, they didn't want to do it, but they should have had Pop do it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't
yeah,
want to give up information about Kanan. Should have had Pop beating the crap out of her and then shoot her. So you can get an idea like, okay, so this is what happened to Famous.
True.
You know
yeah.
what I
Getting
mean?
that
So,
there.
But we
because
all know one thing that's been I know this being confirmed. Sean's mama is coming to season 5.
right, so that's who that was when he was talking to her. So she's finally gonna come season 5, right?
Yeah.
And now I don't know. whether to, because then again you got to go back to the writing. So never trust a woman. Now when he put that in his thing, when he told Sean, so never trust no woman. So is this well it can't be this baby mama. That's why I thought it would have been great for them to make Crystal be the one who was shady and was going along with she was in cahoots with OC, because then that makes sense. Well, who are you saying don't trust women to? This baby
Mhm.
mama and you are on good terms
I
in
thought he was
OG
talking
Power.
about what her name is from season 3.
Yeah. That's another
Yeah,
one. What happened to them? What
yeah,
happened to them? What, the older woman that he was messing with, and,
yeah,
and the daughter. And then Rock came and scared him. I thought maybe the body would come back that was on their gun, or they end up they on some dead gun and find out that they had. But I'm like, it was just so many people that really didn't even need to. If she wasn't going to address the abortion, why show it?
yeah,
Why even make her get pregnant?
Interested in season 5 though.
Right. I mean, it could be, but that's going to be where is she going to really have the chance to sit unique and say, I killed your baby. Now you're gonna be talking about more times gonna be on pass.
hmm,
And
It went
so
on
yeah,
this tonight's episode.
right, it,
yeah,
it should have went on tonight's episode. You know what? Either she should have did one or two things should have happened. She should have either told him tonight, or they should have made her, since they didn't show it anyway, make her off screen change her mind and kept the baby.
yeah,
If you wanna shake some shit up,
yeah. That would have
you
been crazy.
you do that. You know what I mean? So if you would have her keep the baby, and you could have had her pop that jacket open. Speaking of daddy,
Yeah, they'd have been
yeah.
like, "Whoa!"
Now
That'd have threw
what?
everybody off.
Now what?
Uh,
That would have fucked
someone asked.
everybody up.
Someone asked, "Did we see season 5 trailer?" Yeah, we did. We did a quick video on that too on the season
Yeah.
5 trailer.
I seen
We did see it, and I'll say this about season 5. Now, if you look at one of the cast lists, and it's not really in none of the they purposely didn't put any of the main characters confirmed, and they won't do
Mm-hmm.
that till it gets closer. However, there is a extra an actress named Samantha Lee Johnson.
And
She is credited as a funeral attendee,
so that
and this is
means so
this
that
is episode
somebody got
one.
shot.
This is episode 1 of season 5. So somebody, there's a funeral for somebody, and this woman is black. So I'm not guessing it's Stefano's funeral. This is
Right.
somebody, and also
This is
uh
why
uh Russo, Phil Russo's wife. There's someone, Kate Miller, who's casted as Eleanor Russo.
could be Stefanos. It could be
Could be,
Stefanos.
could be Stefano's, because she's just an extra. This other girl, no disrespect, young lady, but
Right.
it could be Stefano's funeral. Maybe Russo is there and the wife is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Russo gonna be there because of course, he's gonna act like that's his friend.
However, Natalie Linez, or Leans, whatever her name is, Jessica Figueroa, is also in this episode. Why is
Okay.
she back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So somebody's funeral has happened.
Did,
They've already
did,
had famous
right.
funeral.
I just
Did,
thought about something, y'all. I know that was the original plan. They say Lulu was supposed to leave with Jessica.
right.
Hmm. Maybe.
And
Maybe he comes back to get him.
possibly, and he didn't. That's maybe that's why they kept showing it coming back. Now Jessica's gonna be in this episode, so again, it could did Lou come back to the house and catch the bullet instead of Rock, and he shot Lulu instead, and that's why she was consoling Kanan.
Or
So, you're right,
could be
or Marvin. Maybe he
Yeah.
shot Marvin instead, and Marvin ends
Right.
up dying. And like I'm saying, because if they're saying that Rock filmed episodes, and her last episode she had on her last filming, she had on a regular dress or what have you. So if it's flashbacks,
Okay,
it could
I
be
just thought about it.
doing what they did with Angela,
Hmm.
or she filmed that season and end up getting killed within the season. That's what I'd rather happen.
Yeah.
I saw on the TikTok. I ain't gonna say the person name, but they had a scene of Rock leaving. It looked like a hotel.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In season 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was they were saying she was filming her final scene for season 5. Now we all know these things are shot out of order, so we don't know what was going
Mm.
on in this scene.
Yeah.
But she was leaving like a hotel, getting into a car or something like that. So we're not sure what it could be. It could be. It
Well,
could have
that's
been a
definitely not a
I
flashback.
know.
flashback.
I did hear the rumors. This
Getting
supposed to
into
be
a
her spot
car.
too.
What happened?
Uh, I forgot her name, y'all. Miller.
Parnessa.
Patina
Oh,
Miller.
Patina Miller. Patina Miller. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw something on her Wikipedia. She's supposed to
Hmm.
be doing another, I think, movie or TV show again,
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's probably so they're gonna probably kill her off.
Yeah. Yeah.
or send her to
So
jail.
right, right. So it could very well be he shoots her, and then she ends up surviving. I mean, she
Hmm.
ends up dying later on,
Yeah.
and he could be flashing back. You could have been thinking of they could be showing while she's in a coma. Shows like to do that.
Just like
While she's in a
on
coma, they flashing back to scenes of him thinking about her, or she could be in a coma thinking about her life and the mistakes she
Hmm.
made, and then she just
Yeah.
passed away. So it could have been it's one of them, but I think somebody's gonna die episode 1, and that whole thing with Juke, she looks traumatized, so
it
whether
got
it's
to be more.
Marvin or
Uh,
whether it's
you know
Marvin or
what?
it's
I've been
somebody,
this Marvin.
You
right?
think it's Marvin?
Because
Yeah.
she's talking about how close she is with him, and I'm not leaving here, and while he's there, and then something happens to him, and then she has to leave. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I think it is.
But let me ask y'all this, and I ain't gonna go off the topic. This is about the next spinoff. What y'all think the title could be? I think the best title for the next spinoff need to be Kingpin
Hmm. Why
Kingpin.
Kingpin?
because if they do another new character, think about who the new character could be. Somebody that definitely knows Ghost, Tommy, Kanan, and they
Hmm.
never mention him.
Who knows Ghost Tommy and Kanan? I don't know. Who we talking about?
What if Ghost's brother was a kingpin drug dealer that they never that Courtney was talking about? That Ghost.
Okay, right, all right. So yeah, so there has been a lot of talk. Like what happens is there isn't just like D Wiz brother. There's always been. I think Courtney kept mentioning Ghost could have a twin brother or another brother, or older brother, whatever. We always heard that as well. So I mean that's possible.
Mhm.
That's possible that Ghost's brother comes into the fold. Now, what I wouldn't mind, because I like Amari, I wouldn't mind if Ghost had a twin brother and then Amari came back and played the twin brother. Maybe he's not playing
Yeah,
Ghost.
but that
I
would
wouldn't
be
mind
the
that.
only thing I would like about that's too soap opera ish. The twin brother thing. Yeah, I mean for
Or just
me,
have somebody
it's too
play.
much like a soap opera. The twin
Right,
brother
but
thing.
but I think she did mention that though. I mean, like if you have a twin brother, I'm not saying he's coming back playing Ghost. I mean, there are identical twins. I mean, but what I'm saying is what he was mentioning was it's it's his twin brother, and he was just whatever a deal or whatever. I wouldn't have. What I'm saying is if they decided to do that, I wouldn't have a problem with them making him a twin, and then Amari come and plays him or whatever. But I don't know if that's gonna happen now, but they did mention she did mention that one time, and there was a rumor because remember they started as soon as they saw Mecca, people started saying, "Oh, that's Ghost Brother," and this Ghost Brother.
Ah,
And this- Everybody was Ghost Brother. Same thing they do with Breeze. Oh,
you know what?
Now
I'm
we
surprised
finally
that
got
D Wisbro
Breeze.
to be in season 5.
that's another. That's who I thought Shamik Moore was gonna be.
That's
D
why I thought
Wiz's
he was gonna be
brother.
Breeze too.
He would have been, yeah. My
Somebody said
son,
Courtney be capping.
yeah, is according to be capping and she be lying a lot. You know, so the facts are, to wrap it up, like the facts are, there are, we know we got Breeze now, so we know where that's going.
Thank God, everybody can stop it with
Finally.
stop talking about him.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He said Becca would have been perfect, but that damn executive producer.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree, Tots. They dropped the ball with
They
Mecca.
dropped the ball
They
with
dropped the
Becca.
ball with Mecca. He could have been so much more.
Yeah.
That guy
I
should have been
mean,
like Ghost.
yeah. My thing is, if they're gonna do the origin stuff, honestly, after a while,
I know who need to
these
play Ghost
these guys
father.
are gonna be
Hold on. Go ahead.
after a while, these guys are going to start getting older, and then, to be honest with you, if you're gonna do origins and you're gonna bring back Amari, you might as well bring them back. Now you got the technology, you can de-age them a little bit and make them look a little younger as themselves, and bring back the original three actors of Curtis Jackson, Amari Hardwick, and dude who plays Tommy, and
That'd be
let them
good.
Joseph,
do origins.
I
I'm
would
saying?
love
Just
that.
de-age them and make them look younger, a little bit younger, not much, but a
Yeah.
little bit younger than them, in themselves. And, and you can make them look younger. They'll have different hairstyles. They'll be wearing older clothes, stuff like that, and let
Uh-huh.
them go ahead and let that happen. Because we still never really, we got a taste of them three running together in when Kanan, and I guess that was season 2 when Kanan came back, or season
Yeah.
1, whatever it was.
Season
So
two.
yeah, so you can kind of get that. That's what Origins should be, and then maybe you can kind of flash back to how Ghost killed Breeze, since this has been a whole thing. So
but you know one
I,
thing, wait to find out in Origin who killed Ghost's dad, and I got a good idea who need to play his dad.
who Ghost? You said who killed Ghost's dad?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, those are things that um we'll be finding out, or hopefully be finding out in Origins. Y'all make sure that y'all um check on we'll leave in the description the original plans, our other power breakdowns, and we're gonna be back. As the week goes on to make our wrap up videos as far as and little prediction for season 5. But yup,
But I'm gonna add y'all on my live one of these days too, because we gotta talk about power.
yeah,
absolutely,
no
man.
doubt.
Just
Let
let
us
us
know,
know.
man. We'll come through. We
Yeah,
appreciate you coming through,
But I
jumping
said, y'all
on
got
and
TikTok?
giving your insight. Huh?
Y'all have TikTok?
yeah, we
Yes.
got TikTok.
Yeah.
But I said, I was gonna add y'all on my live when I go on live, possibly tomorrow or sometimes next week.
You'll be
Yeah,
going live
so
on TikTok
I'm
Not
Heaven Hollywood, and he's what are you, the director
at
on
the
West
yeah the
Clark?
director. Yeah.
All
The
right, so let's get up
DA
out of here.
director. Yeah, man. Yo, this was, like we said, man. A lot of people. I think we're all kind of in agreement with how this turned out. This is
worst season.
still right. It's the worst season of this particular series. I still feel this is the best spinoff series,
Right.
and hopefully they got a lot of work to do next season. But we'll keep that up, y'all. Look out for our next joint, and y'all please check out the original plans, man. Y'all can understand where we coming from with how these stories
Yep.
supposed to
Share
align.
share the channel, like the channel, push it through the algorithm, man. So
Yep,
we
yep,
want to get up there. We got great power content. We gonna get up there. We want to be up there with y'all's go tos. When
yeah,
you check out, shout out to Mark Dark and all
yeah,
everybody doing it. We want to be up there with them. We're like, well,
yeah, yeah,
I
we
got
gotta
a
shout
shout
out
out
to
my
our
boy
brothers.
Detroit and J Will Power too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right,
man.
y'all.
All right,
Yo, thanks, Tyrell.
no problem, my
All
man.
right, peace, yo.
Peace.